Continuing, what if Naruto was raised by Jiraiya and Tsunade? And without further ado, let's get, oh wait, yeah, I forgot to tell you how to leave a like on the video. But let's get right into the video now, since I've told you to leave a like, and you're leaving a like, right? Right, now that you're leaving a like, we can get into the video. So, we open this part with the little red orb sitting somewhat in front of Naruto's, well, what used to be somewhat, yeah. Anyway, so we just see the red orb, and everybody's not like, so at this point, anybody that's not a real shinobi, so like all the little bomb experts that weren't a real shinobi, are being like forced somewhat to the back, because at this point, they're useless, because there's no more bomb. So, like, Jiraiya looks at Tsunade and was like, "What happened?" And Tsunade was like, "He moved. We told him not to. We almost had it. He moved. We don't know why. He just moved. It blew up. We don't know." And when like the ball starts to like open, you start feeling like the Nine Tails chakra even more than what you were already feeling. So, like, ooh, that was some shit. Anyway, so you start like seeing, like when you start seeing Naruto, you can like see that he's clearly in like some form of Nine Tails state, because there's Nine Tails energy like chakra around him, but he's in his normal body, so you can sense the Nine Tails. He's like in like the One Tail state. It's just because there was a bomb on him, you know. So like when he comes out of when he leaves the ball, like everybody's trying to figure out if Naruto is still Naruto, while there's still a miniature war going on behind them. And Naruto, like, without saying a word, he instantly tries to start singling out, like, the people that he know for a guaranteed fact are no longer with the Leaf Village. And he sees them, and he sees, like, Danzo. Danzo is, like, fighting Hiruzen or trying to run away from Hiruzen. And Danzo, like, Naruto's looking, and he's like, so, this is how it is? Like, a whole, like, special, like, somebody that was not trained, but trusted with the Leaf Village's security betrayed them. But I can't be a shinobi? So, like, as Naruto's thinking about this, he grows a second tail, and, like, he starts feeling, like, this overwhelming urge to, like, just kill it, like, everything. So, he's like, okay, shouldn't really start, like, he's like, okay, I gotta, you know, so he just disappears, like, not disappears, but he starts sprinting over there toward Danzo. And before Danzo could realize it, Naruto had hit him in the face, like, full sprint, like yeah. So as Danzo flies through a couple of trees, at this point the rest of the fight stopped, because all they saw was a red streak and then someone get punched and trees getting destroyed. So, yeah. So, and the rest of the fighting stopped, and the people that were fighting with Danzo, after realizing that Naruto had some type of control over the Nine Tails, they realized that at that point there's not really a chance of them winning, although they are like highly trained. On the off chance, they're thinking like on the off chance that Naruto actually knows how to control the Nine Tails completely, they don't think they can go toe to toe with that. So, no, like they just ended up giving up. And Jiraiya, like he's laughing, not really at the fact that Naruto can somewhat control it. And Tsunade was like what's the purpose? And Jiraiya looks at her and she's like, if Naruto can start controlling the Nine Tails more and more, he could eventually have full access to all the Nine Tails abilities, like the amps that it could come with. And Tsunade starts thinking about it too. And when she thinks about it, Naruto does normally heal faster than a normal kid because he has the Nine Tails. But, like, if he had full access, he'd be unstoppable, basically. So she gets a little smirk on her face too. And at this point, like, Jiraiya and Tsunade got these big, dumb, stupid smirks on their face when they're supposed to be worrying about if Naruto can actually control this somewhat form of power that he has. So as this like Danzo gets up, he starts monologuing about how like this is the power that he could have, like if Naruto would have did this earlier, this would have been the power that they would have had, because all he would have had to do was swoop in and kill you, like swoop in and kill him, like kill Naruto and then take the Nine Tails, and that would have been it. But now he has to fight you, like he has to kill Naruto, then he has to kill the leaders of the Leaf Village, then he has to kill all the witnesses, and now that's a whole bunch of extra work. And Naruto like looks at him and he's like, you're not killing anybody anymore. And like Danzo looks at him and he's like, "You saying that like I actually killed people before, like you know or something." And Naruto doesn't say anything after that, and he just like starts sprinting after Danzo. But like as he's going for Danzo, and Danzo's like getting prepared to fight him, he's thinking about it, and he's like, "I fought regular Shinobi. I fought decent Shinobi. You know, I fought my fair share. But this is the Nine Tails." So coming to that realization, he ends up like tossing like a smoke bomb or something, basically something to daze Naruto. He uses jutsu to daze Naruto, and when he dazed Naruto, he was able to grab a few of his guys, just a few around Naruto where Naruto was, and he was able to leave. Now, for like the next 10 minutes, Naruto was darting around in he was darting around in that area looking for Danzo, and everybody around him like was scared to kind of ask him to stop because he was starting to scare people, because he went after a point, after like the 5-minute mark, he stopped looking and just started somewhat like jumping in the air and just kind of forcing it, like pushing himself back down into making these huge fucking craters in the woods, basically just destroying the woods. He just stopped looking after a point because he ended up getting the fourth tail just out of frustration. So yeah, after a point he was just, and the Nine Tails was just on go because he just didn't like it. He just didn't like the Leaf Village, and he just figured if Naruto wants to kill a village elder or somebody that had somewhat of a high status in the village, why not? So when the Nine Tails got control, that's somewhat what he was showing. He just wanted to kill Danzo too. So after a while, the Nine Tails ended up giving up, and Naruto got his body back. And the Jiraiya tells him like, "So how long did you have control for? Like after everything is said and done?" He starts asking him like, "How long did you have control for?" And Hiruzen tells him like, "No, that's not what we're finna start talking about. How are we finna cover this up?" And like Jiraiya tells him like, let's just tell them how it was. The Nine Tails was out there looking for someone that tried to kill him for the quotation benefit of the Leaf Village. And they got like, Tsunade starts telling them like they got all these witnesses like proving that Danzo was nothing but power hungry. If they go out there and tell all the Leaf Village citizens this, if they believed Danzo back then, they're going to believe them now, regardless of the situation. So when they start heading back toward the Leaf Village, everybody sensed the Nine Tails, so they knew it had something to do with Naruto. And they knew about the bomb being on Naruto's foot. So they're somewhat, they're skeptical. People are looking at his foot. Some people are looking at him concerned. Other people are looking at him like, "Bro, what did you do?" Like, because clearly somebody had to die. And they don't see Danzo, and Danzo was heading out there. So they assume that Danzo had to die for the Leaf Village. So now when they start assembling for the meeting, like the announcements or whatever to be informed, there's like a giant crowd of people that are standoffish. Like they still don't fuck with Naruto. And they think that, Naruto did something to Danzo, so they're all rowdy. Then there's like this middle ground group of people. They just came to see what the hell was going on because they heard explosions and junk. And then there was the people that were kind of just seeing, what was good. It was a smaller group of people, but it was like, they was just trying to see if Naruto was good. It was like a small group of 50, something like that, something like. So, no, the Leaf Village is pretty big. I'm gonna say like a group of like 200 people, something like that, yeah. So, like Tsunade, Jiraiya, and Hiruzen, they all go up there and they start telling them what Danzo did. And after, like, they tell them, like 30 minutes pass, it was a decent story. They start telling them, they start from the very beginning. So when Danzo leaks Naruto being the Nine Tails, stuff like that. So they started from the beginning, and it took a decent while. And after they finished, everybody in the village, they're quiet now. And they start telling them, like, Naruto was out there just a few minutes ago, if you guys could sense it, looking for him. He was willing to turn into the Nine Tails, something that destroyed the village, to stop the guy, or to, maim the guy, quotation marks. And so they get a little giggle in the crowd. And they he's like, he was looking for him to bring him to justice. And Naruto, in his mind, he was like, sure, I was gonna bring him to justice. And the Nine Tails looks at him, like the Nine Tails in his mind, because at this point, Naruto and the Nine Tails are kind of cool because they both came to a realization. Like Naruto wanted to be a ninja. The Nine Tails knew that Naruto's foot got blown off. he couldn't see Naruto progress. Although he don't really mess with Naruto, he wants to see Naruto progress in some fashion. So he just figured if he helped Naruto out. But he figured, you know, he got a little bit of, Naruto got a little temper. He likes that. He likes when his, you know, he wants to see what his temper could get him. To get, you know, weaken his steel a little bit. You know, so he's actively starting to talk to Naruto more. So he's like, yeah, sure, we were going to bring him to justice. And Naruto, he's like he starts not laughing, but he gets like this somewhat smile on his face. And I forget, Karin like sees it, and she taps him, and she's like, "What's so funny?" And Naruto's like, "Nothing." And like when Naruto starts listening again, like everybody like it gets loud and they start clapping or whatever. And like Hiruzen he doesn't give Naruto back his headband, but he gives him back the being able to train in the Leaf Village area. So like he tells him like you just gotta keep working harder because you're not like clearly you can't follow orders because he told you not to move and you move. But since you at least, you know, try to defend the Leaf Village and somewhat save a decent amount of Shinobi today, we'll give you the training right back. And Naruto was like, I guess that's good. And like before Naruto could like ask him, could he like have a specific training ground, Hiruzen tells him like we were already like thinking about that because we don't want people to just, because if you start training in Nine Tails energy, that's not something that we want people to just feel when they wake up in the morning. And like Jiraiya and Tsunade tells them like that's gonna be pretty hard for them not to feel from any decent distance away because like the tailed beasts are powerful. Trying to master any type of like, you know, tailed beast, you know, their power is great. There's nothing stopping them from, well, there's nothing stopping you from feeling them from a decent ways away. And Hiruzen tells them like, you know, not if the decent ways away is underground or something. And Naruto tells him, you really want me to go underground? And Hiruzen tells him Danzo had a whole bunch of like very strong like underground training facilities, like things he tests bombs in. Like he's had people with unstable powers sitting there and go wild. And those chambers are still standing up, you know? So maybe, just maybe, a Jinchuriki could possibly go in there and, you know, wreck house after a few training sessions. You know, he made several of these, so if you end up caving yourself in, you're the Nine Tails, there's Sani, and I'm pretty sure y'all can figure it out. And then you just go to the next one. And Naruto was like, okay, so like, do you know what these are? And Danzo takes him there, and he like, the crowd, like, he tells his secretary to like dismiss the crowd, and the crowd starts like going about their day. But they're still kind of proud of what Naruto did. So like, as they're walking away, people are like still cheering for Naruto. And like, when they're walking throughout the village, people are like trying to talk to Naruto. But now at this point, since people are actively trying to talk to him, and, you know, they got like a little group of Shinobi kind of like, you know, keeping the people off of him. And yeah, so when they get outside the Leaf Village, they come across this little cave area. And they see like, it's like off in the distance. They start walking in the cave and they see like this door. And he tells them like this is like one of the secret quotation mark entrances of Danzo's little underground tunnel system. We know he could possibly be down there, but we don't know if, you know, anybody else is down there or any creatures he left are down there and that whole hell bent. So we just want to send y'all down there. Is that okay? And Naruto tells him like, so are these buildings, these underground areas, are they all supported like the training areas under there? And like Hiruzen tells them as far as they're aware of, it's just a training area, so you might have to be slightly careful going throughout the more underground area, like throughout the tunnels and junk. And Naruto, you know, he accepts it, and he's like, alright, so when do we start heading down there? And Hiruzen tells him not, like, probably tomorrow, if anything is going down, if there was like a time bomb or something down there, they would at least want that to go off before they went down there. So that way, the most they would have to do was clear out some rubble on any explosion. So they accept it, and they go back to their house. And this is where I'm gonna end this part off. If y'all enjoyed the video, drop a like if you enjoy my content. Please subscribe.
I'm not finna move.
Peace.